Dumbbell lateral raises are overrated. Now, before you stitch this and clown me by showing off your insanely capped delts that you got exclusively from dumbbell side raises, just hear me out. We all know that the hardest part of a dumbbell side raise is always at the top, right? That's because this is when the moment arm, or the distance between the joint axis and the line of force, in this case the shoulder and the dumbbell, is the longest. And if you know anything about physics, the longer the moment arm, the greater the load on the joint, and the harder it is to lift the weight. So whatever. The top is harder than the bottom, right? Who actually cares? Well, unfortunately, your shoulder does. Because as you fully shorten or contract your shoulder, its ability to produce force decreases. And in a dumbbell side raise, you are performing the hardest part of the movement exclusively in that position. Hence why it is significantly easier to do this than it is to do this. On top of that, we all should know by now that when you take an exercise to failure, the speed of your concentric involuntarily slows down. So let me ask you this. Have you ever once in your life seen someone perform a dumbbell lateral raise where they struggle through the concentric and slowly push the weight up? You bet your ass not, because it is impossible to do that when the exercise is getting significantly harder as your muscle is literally getting weaker. That's why most people rely on momentum and brute force at the bottom to swing the weight up to the top instead of actually using the side delt throughout the entire movement. In other words, it just isn't an efficient exercise for growth. Yes, of course, it still will provide a stimulus, but you're much better off using a cable or a side raise machine where the tension is going to be much more consistent, allowing your shoulder to actually do the work when the exercise gets difficult and not just momentum.